Okay, now the pins are out of the mold. Put the VFH away. Oh, it fell apart, thanks to a good waxing job. Anyway, the cleanup always pays, and you can see the part is actually in there. This part comes right out. Wayne, I hope when you see this video, you're satisfied that I've learned everything you've taught me. Anyway, again, Wayne has been so helpful. This part comes right out, and we have, in essence, let me just get this, let's see if we can see this up close. How thin wall and how polished that is inside. And that's the tank base now right there. What we have to do is go over to a belt sander and sand off all the extra material. Now, a couple of things you want to remember. Anytime you grind or sand this, you want to wear a really good mask. You sure don't want to do it. We have a dust retrieval system in the shop, and I change that filter regularly. Clean it, vacuum it. I vacuum at the end of every work day. And always wear a filter. Anytime you touch sandpaper to carbon, wear a filter. The little disposable filters are even okay if you have no other choice. Retrieval system, you can see, look, you can write your name in it. At the end of every day, I clean that up. And boy, that does an amazing, amazing amount of work. It's hooked to several things, including the drill press, including the hoses run. It's called a jet system. It's about $300, and actually it runs over to here, to our vacuum bench where we do grinding over here. There's a vacuum. It comes through the hose. Through this is called a blast gate, and you can vary the air that's being sucked out. But it's a tremendous volume of air that goes through there, just tremendous. At some point I can just peel a little bit of the remainder away. By the way, the carbon fiber eats up a belt. About every 10 parts you make, you need to replace the belt. Carbon fiber is really rough on drills and grinders and everything. Like titanium, it's just rough on tools. There's the first roughed out piece. That's rough, it still needs to be ground inside. What you need to do is decide what length tank. Now, it's roughly 1 1/8 and 1/8 an inch. So the first thing I do is trim this off roughly, do the rest on a grinder. This will all come off on a grinder. Take this all off by hand later, the chippings. But we could make as much as a 9-ounce tank. Now the one we're going to make is going to be a 6-ounce. So in essence, we want to flatten one side off, get one side trimmed, and we'll do the final amount on a grinder. Again, carbon is rough on the blades. You don't get a lot of cuts per blade. Angles and edges to be 90 degrees. Let's get rid of some of that rib right now. first thing you need to know about whenever you're going to join two parts, even if only one is cured resin, you need to scuff the surface up. Now what the manufacturer recommends is a minimum of 80 grit paper. You need to put scratches, you need to get a tooth. In other words, the surface has to bond. You can't bond a flat to a flat. If we were to just glue this end cap on, there's a good chance it would fail. We need to scuff up, roughen up, whatever you want to call it. And I found the easiest way to do this, and that's both sides by the way, is to just have a Dremel tool with a very sharp point. And by the way, these bits last about 2 tanks and you need to buy another one. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not wearing a mask, it's because I can't talk and do video, so I'm risking my life for you here. Normally when I'm in the shop alone, I go through about 2 dozen masks a week. As soon as I see them getting all black with the dust, breathing carbon dust is a big, big no-no. I also want to get in this area here because I want to make a radius joint on the inside. Now I'm also going to interpolate where the tubes are going to be so I can roughen this up because I'm going to glue the tubes from both sides. But again, I have to make it rough. The rougher the better. And just buy the Dremel tool bits by the dozen. Now, I know, for instance, that this is going to be on this side. I know where the venting is going to be on this customer's tank. And I know where the overflow is going to be. So I'm a little bit ahead on this right now. The back one I know is just going to have rough edges. When I was doing the carbon fiber fuselages and wings, that was one of my main concerns. It's called secondary bonding. When you're bonding cured epoxy parts. Okay, now we have the end caps done. Now the next thing is the side. We want to roughen up the inside and the outside of this part. On the inside. This gives the bond a nice wide footprint to bite into. Now the next thing is I'll take this over to the sink. I'll clean all the dust out of it because you can see there's dust throughout. I do that at the sink. And then I want to make sure I have a nice tight fit here. I don't want to have it. It's actually a part that's so nice, precision made, it just fits right on almost without glue. So the next step is to clean this all up over at the sink. It may seem like overkill to clean this at this point in time, but any dust I can get out of there right now is just going to be helpful because when I send the customer a tank, I'd like there to be almost no or no carbon dust in it. And so far, the few that we've had, after looking at the filter after the first